Hello everyone, this is John35 doing another Transformers review. It's a G1 review of another well-known and I believe well-loved figure. Although he didn't really appear greatly in the cartoon, he was a very popular figure in toy sales, and his name is Inferno. Now, they did again, sort of in the second wave of the G1 cars, reissue a very similar figure, which was a yellow crane, and his name was Grapple. And I'll do again, as I said in the side swipe review, I will do them as separate figures. I was tempted to do them to show comparisons and to sort of like show also similarities in the figures, but I think in a way they deserve their own separate review. So I'm just doing Inferno at the moment. I've got his accessories in front there. He came with two fists, a left and a right handed one. He would have had 3 of these missiles. I've got the others, but I haven't dug them out just to do the review. His blaster, which again, these accessories so far were the same as the Grapple ones, I believe. I don't think there's any difference in the missile, and the gun is certainly the same, and the fists. Difference between Grapple and Inferno would have been these parts. Now they're kind of, it's hard to sort of explain. I would have thought they are some kind of fire accessory, some kind of hose or nozzle attachment for putting out fires. I don't believe they fit on in his actual vehicle mode. I think you probably could get him in the positions where they go when he's in his transformation, you know, when he's transformed in his robot mode, but I don't believe they actually work that well actually fitting them on in this form. I'll move these out of the way so you can get a clearer view of his vehicle mode. As you can see, he's modelled on, I would say, an American style fire engine, or maybe a Japanese one, maybe, because of course Inferno would have been from the Diaclone line of Transformers, as well as like all the early Autobot cars were. It's quite nicely detailed all the way around with clear plastic windows. A lot of chrome work on him. Unfortunately my one does suffer a little bit with chrome rubbing on corners and that, but he's not too bad. I've used the technique I've shown you in earlier video for whitening up the plastic on his ladder and on a couple of other bits, but parts of him you can't take apart too easily, so they're a little bit, you can see the difference between the effect it has on the white there for getting rid of the discoloration due to sunlight. As with all of these early Transformers, they're all freewheeling and all have rubber tyres, and again you have to watch out. I think this one, I don't know if I can get that in there, you can just see a little crack there forming. You do have to watch that on the G1 tyres. It's just where the rubber perishes over time. We might have to sort of replace those. I've actually got another G2 Inferno, what's not in great condition, which will do for parts for him, for tyres and that. As I say, chrome parts all over, sort of all round on the back there as well. You should note as well the back part, which becomes his feet, is actually made of metal, whereas the rest of him is plastic. In vehicle mode, his ladder does go up and down, and if you're moving far enough back, you can extend it out quite a way. So it's quite a good fire engine mode, right out of shot there. It's quite robust, even though it's quite delicate looking plastic. That's quite a robust moulding, though obviously the more you pull it about, the more chance you are you're going to snap apart on that. It does only clip in though, so if you do ever have that, you can just sort of pinch the plastic and pop it in and out to replace it. Right, I shall get on with the transformation. First of all, we'll release what will be his arms on the side here, and they just peg in to the side of the ladder sort of turret, I suppose you'd class it as, at the back. And I don't know if you can see that there. There's a little peg there just at the end of my finger, and there's a hole on the inside of the arm where they both peg in, and you just release them out. That's it. And these then swing fully out to the side on like a double hinge mechanism. And I suppose the next thing to do would be to lift the whole section of the ladder attachment out, and as you can see, that's on a black hinged plastic piece there. It hinges doubly so that this section comes up, but I'll carry on with that in a minute. I'll swing the cab section up and around now, I believe is next, and that sits up. I'll move the camera up a little bit so I get into shot better for you. It swings up and sort of 90 degrees from where it was, and then to form his feet you just need to turn these bottom pieces, which I say these are metal, and well, metal and plastic, it's two part actually, it's plastic on the underside and metal on the top, and you swing those round and that forms his feet. Now you can turn his arms down and that finishes the arm transformation. And then with the back section, I was saying it was double hinged, you fold it into the back there. Now before you carry on, you fold the ladder round and back, and then you see this front section here with the, like I say, the ladder assembly turret type thing. You revolve that round and that does the head reveal, like so. I'll show you that from the front as well. So it's like that when it's in the ladder mode, and then you just swing it up and it stops there. And underneath there, I can get that into the light, you've got like a clip part there. Now that clips onto the back of the cab section there. It's quite hard to get in there, that's it, but once it goes it clicks in with quite a good certainty and it doesn't want to come back off too easily. And that's pretty much his main body transformed. I'll just bring that in so you can see his head moulding. It's very nice head sculpt on these figures, quite nicely detailed, and at the time as well quite nicely picked out. He's got silver detailing on his head, they've done the red eyes and silver face, so it's a very good sculpt for an early figure. I'm moving back now so you can see him a bit more. Just get the camera right for you. Now you get to the point where you're putting the accessories on. Now, as I say, these little hose parts fit on, and I'm just swinging around so I can show you where they go. You see the little hole just behind the black piece there. I'll try and get it so the light shines through it for you. It's not going to play ball with me. There you go. You just see the light shining through down there. And there's a hole on each side, and you just peg these parts in there. Now you have to be quite delicate because you do see a lot of these where the end peg on that snaps off, and obviously you then end up with a little bit of white plastic stuck into his arm and a useless sort of wing part, come nozzle part. But that sort of finishes off his shoulder details, which is quite nice. It's, again, it's G1 cartoon accurate. What purpose they are, well, as I say, I'd take it that there's some kind of firefighting sort of nozzle for the hose attachment or something like that. But there you go, whatever you like. I mean, all of the G1 cars had their little weird parts and that, such as Wheeljack's little wings. I don't quite know what they were made of, but there you go. Now, as for the fists, they push in to the ends of the arms. Just sort of getting a little bit more in stand up for you. And they are on the G1 version on sprung loaded clips, sort of like the usual missile firing clips. I don't know if that's going to fire for me. A bit of a pain in the neck, that if you knock them you do end up firing fists off and weapons off, and it is a bit of a pain when you position him for display and that. One way around it is just to put a little tiny bit of blue tack behind the fist and just sort of squeeze it in there, but don't obviously get it into the workings up in his arm. And then of course you can fit his weapon into his fist, and that completes sort of his transformation. Now his missile can obviously double up, and in the cartoon was used not so much as a weapon, but it was a firefighting implement. He used to shoot foam out of it to put out fires and that, like Decepticons had caused. And it's quite nice being in there. Again, nice little bit of chrome and that it adds to it, but that does tend to fire out worse than the fists do. So again, it's one thing where I'd put a little bit of blue tack on it normally, just to hold it in place and to like make it less likely to fall to bits when you're displaying it. But all in all, it's a really nice figure. They do suffer a little bit with, sort of, as you can see, with weak joints, which you can obviously improve with the super glue technique of just dropping a little tiny bit in there and working it while the super glue goes off, so it doesn't obviously make the joints solid. And obviously he's got nice little details like little clear lights, and the front cab section actually does open up. I should have maybe done that earlier. And you can, going back to his Diaclone lines, there is a little seat inside which a Diaclone figure would have fitted in. And I think this was mentioned in somebody else's review, on a grapple review. These chrome bits do revolve. Now I can only think it's for styling. They revolve to the back like that, and I've got no idea why. I can't ever sort of recall there ever being a particular reason for it. I think they look better up, and to be honest I'd sort of leave him that position even when he's transformed. But if anyone else knows the reasons, you know, sort of drop us a line. I'm sure everyone else would like to know as well. But that's about it. I'll just move him in a little bit so you can get some sort of nice sort of closer look at the details on him. He's got quite a nice amount of sticker applications on him, although the two on his like hydraulic pistons on his legs, one is the wrong way round, but that is because one of them was actually damaged, so I actually replaced the piston, but unfortunately the replacement part, the sticker had been put on the wrong way round. I didn't want to fiddle with it too much by re-stickering, so I've left it at the moment. But like I say, sort of like, it's not crucial detail in, you know, in display if it's got a slightly different sticker detail. But no, it's a very nice G1 figure. There's a little bit, like I say, a little bit of trouble standing. If you do have trouble, you can always extend the ladder a little bit, and that just props him up straighter. And like I say, for display it doesn't really matter if you're seeing him from the front. But it's a good figure. I'd recommend picking him up. They're getting harder and harder to get a really like a complete decent one these days. You obviously got to pay through the nose, but definitely well worth having, and they look great next to each other with sort of Inferno and Grapple stood next to each other. Okay, well that's it for this review. If anyone's got any suggestions of anything else they'd like reviewed or any questions, please drop me a line. and I shall see you again for another Transformers review.